The comments from Susan Collins over the weekend, what impact do you see those having on the markets today? Obviously, we see the S&P and the NASDAQ futures in the green, at least right now.
Right. Well, we do think we're going to continue to see volatility this week, like we saw last week, as investors digest the risk and the opportunities of what the Fed is going to do. And we're seeing cross currents in the Fed, as we have been seeing, driven both by the lack of government data and where we stand right now in the economy with lots of moving parts. We have unemployment that is getting a little worse. We have economic growth that's still solid. We have inflation that's getting a little worse. And so I think with the jury still out on what the Fed will do, it's likely that the markets are going to be in a fairly tight trading range here.
All right. Your word of the day is motion. What motion are you looking at?
Well, there's a lot of motion. Part of the reason I picked the word motion is because this is Thanksgiving week, and we know we're going to have record number of Americans traveling this week to see family and friends and spend Thanksgiving with them. We also see, as I mentioned, a lot of motion going on with the economic indicators, with the government. We might have some motion happening with Ukraine and Russia. We might have some motion happening with healthcare. And of course, what the Fed is going to do is motion. And then finally, my stock pick of the day, which is Patrick Industries, is in the motion industry, not motion pictures, but moving things, RVs, boats, power toys. And what we're seeing there is an uptick in demand across all of those sectors, which we think is very positive for the outlook for Patrick as a supplier into that.
You know, Nancy, it's interesting you say that. Those are all kind of consumer discretionary spends, the things you're talking about, RVs and power sports and things like that. And you're saying the demand's picking up. So you're seeing a strong consumer, and are you expecting to see that reflected in retail sales coming up?
Well, we're not sure about apparel sales in terms of retail sales, but we are seeing an improvement in consumer confidence. The most recent numbers were definitely better than expected. We're going to see those stimulus checks coming in the first quarter with tax refunds going up. And so we're seeing some easing of the pressures on tariffs very quietly and very slowly. So we think it's very likely that next year we will see improved consumer spending over what we saw this year.